everybody. Today I want to do a little bit of experimentation with some UV resin. So I have got a very nice cabachon mold here, and you'll see it's transparent. You have to use transparent molds for UV resin because of course the UV only sets with the UV light, so it needs to go through. The main thing with UV resin is you want to do layers. So you do a whole bunch of thin layers. So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to just swirl it around just to cover the base of my cabachon. And I'm going to just watch out for bubbles. Just try and pick out whatever bubbles you can find. So I've got my first thin layer, and that layer is going to just protect the base so that when I finish playing I won't move the base around at all. It'll be a nice smooth, almost like a glass finish to a painting. When you frame a painting, you put glass in front, then that becomes like that feel. So I can agitate the rest of the resin if I want to, scratch it, do whatever I want with it, and that will keep it unscathed. So we're just going to give it a few seconds with the UV lamp. Quite a few seconds. So I've tested it and I can see that it has set very nicely. If you want to, you can also do the back of it as well, just to make sure it's completely set. You'll see as well that when I do test the resin, I don't like to use my fingers, because if it's not quite 100% set, then it can leave some finger marks on the surface of the resin. So I use this, which is a silicone tip pen, and you can get it for use with pottery and for polymer clay, things like that, but I actually really like it for resin. Okay, so that's my first layer done. Now I'm going to, there's a video that I watched recently on YouTube by Daniel Cooper, and he's very inspiring, I must say. I really do enjoy his work, and this is something that I saw him do only once, so I don't know if it's going to be right. So if Daniel Cooper happens to see my video, please don't judge. So I'm scratching some grooves into the bottom layer, but with a blunt tool, just to give it a little bit of texture. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take various colors of mica powders. I'm going to work from light to dark. So my lightest one is this one, which is the steel blue, and it has a color shifting quality to it. I'm going to just paint that on. You can't even notice it, but it makes a huge difference, just a little bit. So I'm just going to put that on. And then I'm going to do another layer. Bubble. Just another. Oh, that's a huge bubble there. Let's just grab that one out. It's so big it even popped. So I'm going to just, if you can see the little shimmer there of blue, and we'll put that on to set. I'm hoping to get a labradorite kind of effect, which is one of my very favorite precious, semi-precious stones. So we'll see how that goes. So the next color I'm going to use is going to be this flake, which has got beautiful purples and blues and silvers in it. And with these mica powders and flakes, a little bit really does go a long way, so don't go too crazy with it. But you actually won't get a really good effect if you do use too much. People think they just pile it on, it just makes it even more spectacular, but it really doesn't. Now these little UV lamps, they have a timer, and I didn't realize it took so long. It seems so much longer than usual, but we'll see. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's quickly do some more scratching. Doesn't matter what direction, I'm just scratching however, kind of a cross scratch. And I'm using this, I'm just taking it from the lid because these are actual flakes, so if you take it from the bottle it tends to be quite big flakes. If you take it from the lid you can really kind of squish it down in the lid to make it into more of a powder. And then a big tip would be always put your lid on before you carry on, because if that spills, such a waste. And another layer. So you see we're doing quite a few layers, and that's the best way to work with UV resin. It's just to layer and layer and layer. And then set. So you'll also see that these mica powders are quite transparent, and that works very well with UV resin. You can use a tinted color UV resin. You can also get from AMT, you can get a very nice, really pre-tinted resin as well, crystal UV resin, which is gorgeous, and I do use it quite a lot. But for this one, I actually am going to use, I'm going to finish off with a black mica powder as a base, because I find that solid base definitely shows up the color shift very, very nicely. So I'm hoping that this will all come out beautifully. We'll see how it comes out. Okay, I'm going to just stop it a bit early. There we go. And then I'm going to just do a few more scratches, not too many this time now. And this time I'm going to use my purple and my blue. So I think I'll start with purple. You see, I'll always put on the brush and then just kind of brush it off, knock it off a bit as well. Because I didn't then. I'm doing the purple on the one side, and then I'm going to do the blue on the other side, kind of like overlap it a little bit. And then another layer. I missed a bubble there, oh dear. Give it a set. Sometimes it's a bit difficult to miss those bubbles, so I find that your biggest friend that you have in resin is glitter when it comes to those kind of bubbles and things. So I'm going to put probably a little bit of these translucent color shifting glitter things, little bits of glitter in as well. So I'm going to just let this, I'll just put a little bit of this in first. Just a little bit of resin just to be able to put the glitter in. I'm not going to put too much because you also don't want overkill. And this glitter looks particularly good when you do a galaxy as well. So we'll see how it looks with this. I may be making a huge mistake, but we'll see. So every now and then I like to put my silicone stickers under the light as well, and that helps it to clean it, keep it nice and clean. So I think while that is happening, I'm going to quickly mix up my last layer, which is the black. When you do this, you want to try and keep your resin away from your light as much as possible so it doesn't set by mistake. And I'm going to use some black. Again, I'll use this side. Just a little bit. You don't want to use too much, because even though it's very difficult to set an opaque color, you don't want to push your luck too much. So I've got a very nice pearlescent black. Perfect timing. And for our last layer, we're going to put this black on. Oh, it was a bit much. All the way to the edges. And we'll let that set. So you can either leave this leftover resin for the next one, or you can put it underneath as well and let it set and pop it out, and then you can cut it up and use it as an inclusion in another job that you want to do later. If you want to add some little black pieces, it can be very, very cute. You just cut it up with a pair of scissors. So exciting. See what happens. So if you're interested in doing UV and you are in Cape Town, I will be doing a workshop at Deckle Edge on the 15th of June, so feel free to book your space and we will have some fun doing some interesting things. Always a very, very popular class. So I'm just feeling to check and see. It still feels a little bit sticky. I'll give it another go. This is the thing with the opaque colors. If you use the opaque colors in the UV resin, of course the UV rays can't penetrate, so it takes a little bit longer to dry and to set. So sometimes you would do both sides as well, but I'm going to see if I can get away with it, just so, because I can't wait to see how this looks. Still not quite there, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, I'm going to pop it out and see how it looks. Oh my goodness, look at that. Can you see? That is gorgeous. So you can put it into a little cabachon holder if you want to make a necklace. But that is absolutely beautiful. Wow. I can't see my screen to see if I'm getting it in. I don't know if you can see the beautiful colors that are in here. Lovely. Thank you for watching.